Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac. If you're a new listener and this is the first time you've ever heard this podcast, pick a different episode, because here's why. This is a very special episode. Normally, I talk about comedy headlines and what happened in like the last 24 hours. But today, because Liz M went to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews and accepted the challenge that I've had up there for a while, that if people spent enough money on buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews, I would do an entire episode saying nice things about Adam Sandler movies. So Liz took the challenge, bought me 5 large iced coffees, and wrote, "Can't wait to hear an entire episode of you saying nice things about Adam Sandler movies." So that's what today is. Again, if this is your first time listening, listen to yesterday's episode, or Thursday was pretty good. I don't know if Friday's was good. See, I recorded this one on Wednesday, so I don't know if yesterday was good or not. Anyway, I'm going to say nice things about Adam Sandler movies. I'm not going to do it sarcastically. I'm not going to do it with loaded backdoor comments. I'm going to do this straight. Are you ready? Back in 2019, Adam Sandler told Yahoo that he doesn't read reviews. He says, "I don't sit and read them." Some people criticize Adam Sandler movies, and Adam says, "It's been going on so long that it doesn't really bother me anymore. When I was young and I read my first couple reviews and how hard they came at me and hated my stuff, it was shell-shocking because I was young and excited. And then I got hit with how terrible my stuff was, but I guess I just believed differently, so I kept doing my thing." Along the way, Adam's had some pretty successful movies, including Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer. He's got the upcoming film Spaceman, and Vanity Fair spoke to Adam. Spaceman will show up on Netflix on March 1st. It stars Adam Sandler as Jacob, a Czech astronaut on a solo mission to the edge of the solar system. It co-stars Paul Dano as a large multi-legged alien who infiltrates Jacob's ship and needles him with questions the astronauts would rather not hear. Sandler says don't expect Rob Schneider to show up. This is a drama, a somber meditation on loneliness, avoidance, and regret. Sandler tells Vanity Fair the trailer lets you know what the vibe of the movie is going to be. I don't think it's going to throw anybody off. Netflix is presenting it in a way that you know what's to be expected, and it's not a comedy. He says, "You might get ticked off, like, hey, I was hoping for some funny Sandman stuff here, but if you know from the outset, then you can go into it thinking like, all right, let's see what this is." Sandler says everyone's going to have their own reaction. His own reaction to the first screening was almost like a concert movie, like the feel of how it takes you away, but I have no idea what other people are going to feel. He spent some time dangling from wires to simulate zero gravity, acting alone, often separated even from the crew who were out of sight, operating cameras on 60-foot cranes. Sandler says, "I was talking to a tennis ball a lot, but it was a great atmosphere to go to places and try to feel the real thing." A lot of the movie was shot on sound stages in Long Island. I used to live right near those sound stages, which allowed him to go home most days. But then the production moved to the Czech Republic for the flashback sequences. And he said that helped him channel the loneliness. When we were shooting in the Czech Republic, it's a different time zone. Everybody's off. You're not living the same life you do when you're home. So I yearned for that. If it's way too long, I start losing it. I'd call up my wife and tell her what scene I was about to do. We'd discuss things to get me to these certain places. And man, it was deep. And too many days when I left my trailer going, oh, this is not going to be an easy scene. I was walking to the set going, all right, here we go, man. Let's feel it. Sandler says it's our nature that we keep burning up all that stuff in our quest to fulfill needs that we have within ourselves, and goes, wow, you better quote that one. From the Alabama Take website, they point out Adam Sandler isn't just good, he's one of the best to ever do it. Back in 2002, we got Sandler's first serious dramatic head-turning role in the strange but wonderful rom-com masterpiece Punch Drunk Love. Then in 2017, the brilliant, funny dramedy The Meyerowitz Stories. And of course, my favorite Adam Sandler movie, the wonderfully fantastic Uncut Gems. Alabama Take writes, Adam Sandler is a good actor when he wants to be. Here's the thing, there isn't another actor in the history of motion pictures that's been more unfairly scrutinized, more severely underappreciated, and more blatantly disrespected than Adam Sandler. Case in point, look at the list of best living American actors. Adam Sandler, 107th. Sandler's made some of the greatest and most influential American comedies ever, thanks to cable TV and streaming services, writes the Alabama Take, where these movies are constantly featured and easily accessible. They're as popular now as they've ever been. Happy Gilmore is the best golf movie of all time. It's better than Caddyshack. The Wedding Singer is a beloved romantic comedy even today. Sandler's biggest box office success of the 90s, Big Daddy, is the culmination of the Sandman's growth both as a writer and actor. But the best movie from that time, and the one where Sandler's comedic genius is on full display, is none other than The Waterboy. The point is, Sandler's criminally underrated because folks have failed to see the genius at work. Collider and I agree that Drew Barrymore is awesome in Adam Sandler movies, and they point out his performances lead to one consistent factor, his impeccable chemistry and compatibility with Drew Barrymore. They've co-starred in 3 films, The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, and Blended. Each came out in a different decade, and they each feature Adam Sandler at his very best. The pinnacle of Sandler's performances are a product of his own comedic skills, but are elevated to new heights because of Barrymore's own wit, cheer, and heart. Whenever they're in the same scene, Sandler and Barrymore are always messing with each other, or they're messing with everyone around them. They tease and poke at each other in every film like a pair of best friends. In The Wedding Singer, there's a scene where a wedding photographer mistakes them as a couple. They're not a couple yet in that scene. Instead of being embarrassed, they jump into this weird, absurd improv scene where they pretend to be siblings. The look of shock on the photographer's face is as extreme as the laughs that people experience seeing it, because the pair are being utterly mischievous and rascally. In 50 First Dates, Barrymore is able to match Sandler's humor again, even though she's essentially playing a character who doesn't even have the memory of their past to build on. And in Blended, before their first kiss, she takes a moment to tease Adam Sandler as payback for something he did earlier in the movie. Sandler says, "No matter what's going on, I'm always pulling for Drew, and she's the same way. Whenever I'm doing something, I know she's pulling for me." All right, let's rank the best Adam Sandler movies. Number 1, Uncut Gems. With his debts mounting and angry collectors closing in, a fast-talking New York City jeweler risks everything in hope of staying afloat and alive. I know Adam was hoping to get some Academy Award action for that one and was disappointed when he didn't. Number 2, I'm going to go with Hustle. Fun basketball movie. Plenty of famous cameos. The plot knows what it is. The movie moves along. It's fun. It's not quite Uncut Gems, but Hustle is pretty good. Number 3, 50 First Dates. Drew Barrymore, 2004. Just talked about that. If you haven't seen it in a while, 50 First Dates follows Henry Roth, a marine biologist and a womanizer who uses his deception to bed tourists on the island. But when he meets local girl Lucy, he begins to fall in love. The only problem, she's got amnesia and her memory resets after every day. At number 4, we have The Wedding Singer, which tells the story of Robbie, a small-town wedding singer who, after being left at the altar, becomes disillusioned with love, but he begins to bond with his best friend Julia, again, Drew Barrymore. And for me, at number 5, the remake of The Longest Yard. I guess I like sports movies, and I like Sandler a little more dramatic. This is the remake of the 1974 Burt Reynolds movie, The Longest Yard, about a jailed pro football player who recruits convicts for a one-off grudge match against the guards. That's my personal top 5. I'd be curious what yours are. You can join us in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. Do have to point out some other great Adam Sandler movies. Happy Gilmore, where he's a hot-headed hockey player with a powerful slap shot. However, his temper and lack of skating skills hold him back. Then he finds out he's good at golf. Then there's The Water Boy with a fantastic Henry Winkler scene. A nice happy ending. How could you not like that? Billy Madison, probably the most quotable of Adam Sandler's films. Chris Farley, Steve Buscemi, Norm Macdonald in that one. And then, of course, Jack and Jill. Adam Sandler pulling a double role. He plays Jack and he plays Jill. Jack and Jill are twins separated by a continent and a chasm of luck, achievement, and social status. When Jill arrives from the Bronx to spend Thanksgiving at her brother's gorgeous L.A. home, her presence provokes a steady barrage of rage and disgust. And that is your comedy news for today. Thank you, Liz, for going to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. See you tomorrow.